Okay, so we're going to get ready on the flap assembly. So this is the actual strap that closes your electronic device cover. So we already have our two pieces cut that are the 4x6. So they're the two smallest pieces that we have cut. You should have already also purchased a piece of Velcro that's 3 inches long. With your Velcro, at this point, I like to take it apart, and most of it, of your commercial Velcro that you buy has a rougher side and a soft side. I like to take the soft side and attach that to my unquilted flap, and you want to put it down about 1.5 inches and have it centered. You're then going to turn your machine to a zigzag, and you're going to zigzag around the edges of the Velcro. Making sure when you get to the corners that we have the needle all the way down when we lift up that presser foot. Turn it 90 degrees with that needle down. Continue on. And when you get close to that corner, it's always good to use that hand wheel to get us exactly to where we want to be. And then I go over that first seam by 1 inch or so, just so you're locking that seam in. Make sure you clip your threads. We want to make sure that we're clipping our threads as we go through this whole project. So now that I have that sewn, you can see that Velcro. It's hard to see with the same similar colored thread, but we have that zigzagged all the way around the edge. I'm going to turn my machine back to a straight stitch before I forget. With my other flat piece that's been quilted, I've already attached my button. You want to have the button at least 1.5 inches down. I like to have it even a little bit farther down. It's just purely decorative. We're sewing it on at this point because then all of our stitch work of sewing that button on is all hidden within the seam of inside the inside of the flap. Okay, now that I have these two attachments, I'm going to put my right sides together so the prettiness is being disappearing, and I'm going to match up all my edges. I'm going to pin those diagonals in the corners, and then go along and pin the other edges. When I get this all pinned up, I'm going to be sewing the two long sides and the top sides all together. So I have those all pinned, more pins if you need, and I'm going to sew at 1/2 inch in along the side, top, and side. When I'm done, it's going to look like this. At this point, I'm almost ready to turn it, but I need to clip those corners first. There's not too much bulk in the seam. So making sure that you're not cutting through that seam, because we worked really, really hard and we don't want our project to get wrecked. So I've clipped my corners. They're nice dog-eared now. Now I can turn this flap inside out, and once it's turned inside out, I'm going to bring it to my ironing board, and I'm going to press it. Make sure you're doing this step and making sure that you're pressing it really nice. The more you press along the way, the better your finished product is going to look. At this point too, now that I've pressed it, I also did a final detail of top stitching. So you can see there's a nice little line. I actually used edge stitching as my top stitching detail. All I did is I simply put it in, and I kind of kept that equal distance from the edge to keep that nice stitching. At this point, my flap is done, and it's ready to be attached to the main body. So I'm going to take one of my quilted exterior pieces, and I'm going to take on one of the width sides, I am going to center my flap piece, and then I'm going to zigzag nice and close to the edge, back and forth a few times. What this is going to do, this is going to reinforce my my flap to make sure as I open and close my Chromebook case that my flap never detaches. So I'm going to just zigzag this up quick, and then we're going to be ready to start sewing the body of our Chromebook case.